Hi, welcome to my reader's notebook for the read aloud I'm going to do for the book Inside Out by Terry Trueman. Here's the book cover, and I'm going to read you the back. It says, "The worst danger is within. A busy coffee shop, a robbery gone wrong, 2 gunmen, 9 hostages, flashing lights, and Zach is caught in the mayhem. But nobody realizes that Zach, who has no gun and no knife, has a mind more dangerous than any weapon." That sounded pretty ominous. And so what I'm going to do before I even start reading is I'm going to make a prediction about what I think is going to happen in this book. A good strategy for readers is that you'll predict what will happen next based on evidence from the text. So what I've put here is that before reading, I think that the main character, Zach, is an evil genius, based on reading the back of the book, which calls his mind more dangerous than any weapon. Later, I'm going to come back here and I'm going to decide if my prediction was correct and revise if I need to. Now, when I turned to the first page of the story, it is not the first chapter. It looks like it's a prologue. And first thing I noticed is at the bottom of the page, there's this grayed out text that is sort of different than the regular text of the story. And if I flip through the book here, I see that this happens like almost on half of the pages. I'm not sure what it is, but it's interesting. I'm going to pay attention to it and see if we can figure it out. I'm going to read the prologue here. Let's see. "You're worthless," Dirtbag says. Zach tries to ignore him, but then Rat. "You need to die, wastoid." Zach stares at the rifle he holds in his hands, and he takes a deep breath, slowly turning the weapon toward himself. "Yeah, die, wastoid," Dirtbag says, almost like he's whispering something sweet and kind. Almost like he's Zach's friend. "Die!" screams Rat. Zach hesitates, thinking about his mother for just a moment, and then looks at the rifle again. He cocks the weapon and lifts it up, taking the muzzle into his mouth. Along the bottom it says, "'Cause you're a gong, wong is a gong is a wong, yes, 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 end it all, long gone, long gone." Okay, so that bit at the bottom seems like nonsense to me. I'm not sure what it is. It's something weird I'm going to keep in mind as I read to try and figure out. Okay, so I think this is clearly showing that Zach is suicidal. Like he looks like he's putting a gun in his mouth and that he might shoot. I don't think that he does because he's the main character in this book, and I don't think he could be in the book if he kills himself on the very first page. So I think for whatever happened, he ended up surviving, but I could be wrong. I'm going to continue reading to find out what's going on. The author seems to be, or is possibly at least, showing us a little bit of Zach's personality before he jumps right into the story. I think that Dirtbag and Rat are sort of evil characters. That's really all I know about them at all because they're telling this person that he's worthless and that he should die. And that's kind of disgusting sort of behavior. So I'm going to keep this in mind because I'm not sure what's going on yet, and I'll come back to it if I need to later to get a better picture of what's happening in the story. Okay, I'm going to start reading from chapter 1. But before I do, I want to consider this important strategy. Especially when you are starting a new book, you want to expect that your characters are going to be complicated and show more than one trait. So what I'm going to do while I'm reading is I'm going to pay close attention to what my main character, Zach, does, what he thinks and what he says and does, so that I can decide what kind of person he is. I'm going to take some notes down as I read, and I will add them to my notebook. Okay. At the bottom of some of the pages on chapter 1, in that grayed out font, it says, "Think, think, shrink, shrink." Chapter 1. All I want is a maple bar, but I don't think these kids with the guns care about what I want. I didn't even look up when they first walked into the coffee shop, even though the little bell on the door went tingling. But now I look. "This is a robbery!" yells the taller, older-looking kid holding a black gun. He's around my age, maybe 16. The other kid's hand is shaking, and the little silver gun he's holding is shaking too. He looks younger than the first kid. They both look mad. Mean too. "We're just here for the cash registers," yells the older kid. "You all just sit tight." I glance out the window and I see a lady in a blue car. Her mouth has dropped open and she's staring straight at us. Now she's talking on her cell phone as she speeds away. I look back at the robber kids. I don't think they saw the lady in the car. I look around at everybody else in this place and they all look scared, so I'm trying to look scared too. I mean, I guess I'm scared, but this all seems so normal to me. The thing is, I'm used to seeing and hearing really weird stuff. So this doesn't feel too strange to me at all. It feels familiar. But it's probably weird to everyone else because they're freaking out. The two suits sitting over at the table against the wall are white as ghosts. One of them is fat. I don't want to be rude, but he is. His white shirt is stretched tight over his big belly, and his tie doesn't reach his belt. The other one is skinny. They remind me of these two old movie characters, Laurel and Hardy, who were a skinny guy and a fat guy too. Laurel and Hardy are my favorites because they're always arguing and the fat guy yells and the skinny guy starts bawling like a baby. But the fat suit here in this coffee shop isn't yelling, and the skinny suit isn't crying, at least not yet. Two old ladies sitting at the table next to the two suits are quiet and sit very still. I have to stare at them for a few seconds to be sure they're even real. Finally, one of them blinks, but I'm still not sure about the other one. The girl and the guy who work behind the counter are frozen like statues. Even though I sit here every day after school waiting for my mom, I don't know the guy's or girl's name, and they don't know mine. A lady and her little daughter, who were ordering drinks when these kids with the guns busted in, are just standing with their faces all squinched up, which is too bad because the lady is pretty and her little girl is cute. They could be in a commercial about pretty moms and daughters. One of the kids with a gun, the older looking one, says, "Nobody's going to get hurt if you just do what we tell you." I say, "Okay." He seems surprised at the sound of my voice and looks at me real fast, then away again. He says, "We don't want to hurt anybody." "Good," I say. He looks at me again. "You got a problem?" he asks. I think he sounds mad. "Yes," I say. This surprises him too. "Oh yeah?" he asks. Then he points his gun right at me. "What's your problem?" I'm sort of surprised that he wants to know. His gun is big and black, with a wide hole in the end of the barrel. It's like a tunnel. I answer him as truthfully as I can. "I'm sick, that's my problem. I take medicine 2 times every day. Thanks for asking." The younger kid yells, "Shut up or we'll hurt you." He sounds like kids at school just before they do something like knock your lunch tray out of your hands. I think about what the older kid said about not wanting to hurt anybody, so now I'm confused by the younger one saying they might hurt me. "I thought you didn't wanna," I ask. "Didn't wanna what?" asks the older kid. "Hurt anybody." "We don't," he hesitates, "so don't make us." Make you? Now I'm really confused. Why would I make anybody hurt me? What am I going to do? Say something like, come on, please, please, shoot me a few times? And people call me weird. The older kid says, so just shut up and we won't hurt you. Oh, I say. Okay. I think, close one, Zach. You almost screwed up again. Zach, you're a stupid wongong. A long gone wongong. Okay, so at this point I've noticed a little bit about Zach, and I'm going to go ahead and put up a jot at this time. Okay, so basically what I've noticed is that Zach is really socially awkward. Like he seems to really misunderstand social cues. He says that the people that he looked around him and he saw people and that they looked really scared. And so he tried to look scared too. Like he wasn't necessarily feeling it as much. So he wanted to look like everybody else. He keeps responding to the robbers, even though they don't seem to want anyone to respond. He just keeps talking anyway. So I feel like I'm wondering if maybe he has autism, but I guess I'll just continue reading to find out. Okay. Again, it says, Zach, you're a stupid wongong, a long gone wongong. I ignore this, but while I'm sitting here being quiet, my palms are sweaty and my throat is dry. I need to decide if this situation is real or not. I need to decide that right now. Sometimes I understand what's going on and other times I don't have a clue. If I don't figure this one out, I could be in trouble. So I look closer at the kids with the guns. They're not much bigger than I am. They're both wearing blue jeans, and the older one is wearing a baseball hat and a black t-shirt. The younger one doesn't have a hat on, and his t-shirt is yellow. Their faces look pretty normal. Noses, eyes, mouths, ears, and hair. Oh, and eyebrows. So far, so good. If I were just imagining them, they'd probably be missing some of those parts. So I think that probably I'm not imagining them. I think these are real kids with real guns. After all, it looks like the other people sitting here see them too. Dr. Kurt always tells me to use all my senses when I'm trying to figure out reality. Like if I'm hearing too much stuff and my ears are being used up, then I need to use my eyes and nose, my sense of taste and touch to figure if things are real or not. But sometimes I can't trust any of my other senses either. The thing is, I am not normal. I'm not. And I can't help it. I get massively confused. I've got two psycho killer enemies named Dirtbag and Rat after me. My body, most of the time, feels like a foreign country. Like I told the kid with the big black gun, I'm sick. Hey, Zach, think, shrink, wong kong. And then, of course, there's that crap. I mutter back, up yours. The younger kid points his gun right at me and says, I thought we told you to shut up. Yeah, you did, really, honestly, you did tell me that, I say. You said shut up and no one will get hurt. I'm surprised he forgot. So why are you still talking? He demands. Maybe this is one of those times when someone asks a question but doesn't really care about the answer. He's not really expecting me to answer. I better shut up just to be safe. Hey, Zach, wing wong, long gong. This bounces around from one side of the room to the other. I know that no one else can hear this. No one else ever does. I glance at the two businessmen across from me. The skinny one just stares at the table. He looks pale and he's shaking. The fat one looks like he would shoot me if he had a gun. Somehow I always make people mad. I don't know why. I point over at the fat suit and I say to the robbers, Does he look mad to you? The robbers, both of them, turn and look, pointing their guns at him. The older kid asks the fat suit, Are you a hero? Are you going to give us a problem? When the fat suit opens his mouth to speak, his words squeak out of him. No way, no, sir. He looks back at me again. his face all twisted up, his mouth pinched real tight, and his eyes bulging even more than before. I can't tell if he's sorry or if he wants to kill me. When I look at other people, I usually don't know what they're feeling. Hell, most times I can't tell what I'm feeling. How am I supposed to know what's happening with anybody else? It sure would be good to know, though, especially right now. The older kid turns back to me. Just try to shut up, okay? He says. Then he adds, actually sounding kind of nice, loud enough for everybody to hear him. We'll be done here in just a second. Then you can all go home. When he says this, I glance at my watch, and I know that won't work for me. I say, my mom won't be here until 3:30. I look at my watch again. It's only 3:12. I have to wait for her. The older kid says, okay. I say, I can't leave until she comes to pick me up. He shifts his gun a little in his hand and says, yeah, okay, that's fine. You can stay here until 3:30 and wait for her. I say, yeah, I gotta wait here. I can't be home alone anymore, even though she got rid of our rifle. This is where she meets me. She picks me up here every day after school, and I take my medication right away. I have to. Shut up! The younger kid screams. The whole room jumps, even the statue ladies. His word echoes. Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! I do it. I shut up right away. The older kid says, you gotta be quiet, okay? I nod my head yes, so that I won't have to be talking. Wing wong, long gone, your mouth is stupid, but you've got a long dong. I ignore this, even though I hate when anybody talks about my dong. The younger robber yells at the girl behind the counter, hurry up! As she takes the money out of the cash register, she tries to move her hands faster, shoveling the bills into one of the white paper bags they used for giving you maple bars and stuff. I love maple bars. Suddenly, 3 cop cars screech to a stop right outside, their lights flashing red and blue, red and blue, red and blue. Wahoo! The 2 kids with the guns start yelling. Everybody up! Hurry up! Move it now! Now! We're all up and moving so fast that we bump into each other as the robber kids shoves us towards the back room. I glance back at the maple bars. I really want one bad. And I notice out the window the cops jumping out of their cars with their guns. The robber kids look freaked out. Their eyes are huge and scared. The older one's face is sweaty and the younger one's face is real red. The older kid yells, hurry up! And pushes the fat suit, who stumbles and knocks into the lady and her little girl. They bump into one of the old ladies, who almost falls. I wonder if any of us will ever meet the President of the United States. That's stupid, isn't it? I mean, why would we? I trip as the younger robber shoves me hard in the back. I bump into the skinny suit. This is like a kindergarten fire drill, only all of us are lots taller and all of us are lots taller than little kindergartners would be. That's stupid too, isn't it? I mean, of course we're taller than kindergartners. I guess I look and act stupid a lot of the time. Lots of people say that to me, so it's probably true. In another few seconds, we'll all be crammed into this tiny back room of the coffee shop, the part in the back that you never see. I keep thinking how much farther away I'm getting from the maple bar. Damn, I hate that. All right, so that's the end of the first chapter. I'm going to go ahead and stop there for today. I noticed another thing that I wanted to write down about my main character, Zach. He clearly hallucinates, which means he sees things that are not really there. He sees things and he seems to hear things. Like, for example, Dirtbag and Rat, they keep talking to him, but no one else seems to hear them. And he mentions that no one else hears them ever. So they must just be something he's imagining. So that's good. There aren't actual evil people telling him to kill himself, like we thought at the beginning of the book. But he still thinks he hears them all the time. It also says, I need to decide if this situation is real or not. I need to decide right now. And it also says then that Dr. Kurt always tells me to use all of my senses when I'm trying to figure out reality. So clearly this is something that he actually meets with doctors and tries to get help for. This is something that happens to him frequently. All right, so before I started reading this chapter, I made this prediction that I thought Zach was maybe an evil genius. After reading, I think that it seems like maybe the danger is going to be the fact that he has these hallucinations and that he can't really like control himself to stop talking. I think maybe he might end up getting hurt or hurting somebody else. And since we do want to make sure that we keep trying to predict what's going to happen next, I'm going to make kind of a general prediction about the next chapter. I think that people are going to start crying and screaming and that someone might get hurt. I think this because they've all been ordered into a tiny room and the robbers are getting scared since the cops are there. And so, I don't know, but people who are holding guns, if they get scared, I feel like accidents still tend to happen then. So that's the reason for my prediction there. One thing I'm going to try and do when I start to read this tomorrow is I'm going to try and look for some of the traits for a couple of our minor characters. I'm going to look for things about the older and younger thief. So I hope you guys enjoyed the first chapter, and I will get the next chapter out as soon as possible. Thanks. Bye.